Hello and welcome to the English lessons. Today we will deal with lesson number 3 and the lesson's name is Ranga's Marriage. It is written by Masti Venkatesh Iyengar. Coming to the introduction of the lesson, the story Ranga's Marriage dates back to the early days of British rule when life in village was slow and child marriage was common. It very interestingly shows the manipulation done by the narrator to bring a change in the idealistic views of Rangas about marriage and get him married to a 11-year-old girl Ratna. Due to the narrator's meticulous planning with the village astrologer, Ranga ultimately gets married to Ratna, with whom he had fallen in love on first sight. Talking about the characters, the first central character is Ranga. Ranga, the son of an accountant, gets educated outside his village at Bangalore, but he has not changed much when he returns as he follows the traditional courteous behavior towards elders. However, Ranga's views about marriage are non-traditional. The narrator's strategy succeeds in making him agree to the traditional arranged marriage. The next character is the Shyama, the narrator. Shyama is the narrator in the lesson. He is Ranga's neighbor. He is impressed by Ranga's cultured behavior and plans a strategy, takes the village astrologer into confidence, and finally makes Ranga agree to marry a 11-year-old orphan Ratna. The next character is Ratna. She is a 11-year-old orphan girl who is staying with her uncle, Rama Rao. She is pretty and sings very sweetly. She also knew how to play veena and harmonium. She impresses Ranga so that he changes his views on marriage. The next character is Shastri. He is the village astrologer who plays his role to perfection as tortured by Shyama, but he does not want to be treated shabbily and tries to assert his knowledge of the Shastras when Shyama tried to make fun of him. Now coming to the detailed summary of the lesson, Ranga's marriage. The narrator comments why he had not given any elaborate title to the present story, Ranga's marriage, like Raghunatha's Vivaha or Jagannatha's Vijaya. The reason is that the story is about a common boy, Ranga, and his marriage. He is an accountant's son and native of village Hoshali. So Ranga, who speaks very highly about his village. The narrator mentions that this village is very small and it is not mentioned in geography books. Still, he speaks highly about the Hoshali. He says that we have some mango trees in our village. Come visit us and I will give you a raw mango from one of them. Do eat it. Just take a bite. The sourness is sure to go straight to your Brahmarandra. I took once such fruit home and a chutney was made out of it. All of us ate it. The cough was suffered. The cough we suffered from after that I was it was when I went for the cough medicine that the doctor told me about the special quality of the fruit. Just as the mango is special, so is everything else around our village. We have a creeper growing in the ever so fine water of the village pond. So, like this, the narrator he describes about his village Hoshali. And even the local doctor, Dr. Gunda Bhatta, who has visited many places outside India, finds village Hoshali very impressive. The village is famous for its sour mangoes and creepers growing in the village pond. The leaves of this creeper could serve as a good plates for serving afternoon meals, but the narrator Shyama says that the real appreciation of the village can be felt only if one visits it personally and gets acquainted with it. So now Shyama recalls an incident that happened 10 years ago. The village accountant was the first one to gather enough courage to send his son to Bangalore to study. Not many people knew English then. That was why Ranga's homecoming was a great event. A big crowd went to greet him. So, Ranga reminds an incident. So, what I'm going to tell you is something that happened 10 years ago. We did not have many people who knew English then. Our village accountant was the first one who had enough courage to send his son to Bangalore to study. It is different now. There are many people who know English. During the holidays, you come across them on every street talking in English. Those days, we did not speak in English, nor did we bring in English words while talking in Kannada. What has happened is disgraceful, believe me. Here he is telling an incident. The other day I was in Rama Rao's house when they bought a bundle of firewood. Rama's Rao son came out to pray for it. He asked the woman, "How much should I give you?" "4 pies," she said. The boy told her that he did not have any change. He asked her to come the next morning. The poor woman did not understand the English word change and went away muttering to herself. I too did not know later when I went to Ranga's house and asked him. I understood what it meant. So, here in the lesson, Ranga, here in the lesson, you will see that the narrator, according to the narrator, the influence of English on the way people talk is disgraceful. They bring in English words even while talking in their mother tongue, Kannada. He says that during the last 10 years, the English has come to be known by many villagers. To illustrate his point, he mentions Rama Rao's son using the English word change, which was not understood by the illiterate woman he was dealing with. So the narrator considers English to be a priceless commodity, but at the same time, he also asserts that learning a foreign language need not affect our tradition and culture. This is evident by the emphasis on Ranga's wearing the sacred thread and doing namaskara and touching the feet of the elders. As Ranga, he was a very traditional boy. He has his marriage views were non-traditional. So Ranga, you will see in the lesson that Ranga he has not changed much even when he returns, as he follows a traditional courteous behavior towards elder. So Shyamak recalls an incident that happened 10 years ago. The village accountant was the first one to gather enough courage to send his son to Bangalore to study. Not many people knew English then. That was why Ranga's homecoming was a great event. A big crowd went to greet him. The narrator rushed to see him. Everyone was surprised to see that Ranga has not changed. Once they realized that Ranga was unchanged, the crowd of the people slowly disappeared. Only the narrator continued to stand there. Ranga had a smile on his face. He still followed the rituals of his caste by respectfully touching the narrator's feet. The same afternoon, Ranga went to the narrator's house with a couple of oranges in his hand. So, Ranga went to Shyama's house to the narrator's house with a couple of oranges in his hands. The narrator thought that such a fine and generous boy should get married and settle down. He had that idea in his mind that such a fine and generous boy should get married and settle down. He inquired about his plan to get married, but Ranga said that he did not want to get married. He was searching for the right girl who was mature enough. Secondly, he wanted to marry a girl he admired. He was not in favor of the arranged marriage prevalent in the society. So till he got a girl of his choice, he wanted to remain a bachelor. So these were the Ranga's views about marriage. So the narrator was distressed to learn about the Ranga's views on marriage, but he made up his mind that very soon he would get Ranga married. So narrator found the most suitable girl for Ranga. It was Rama Rao's niece Ratna, who was a pretty 11-year-old girl, orphan girl who had come to stay with him after her parents died. She was from a big town, so she knew how to play the veena and the harmonium. She also had a sweet voice. So next morning the narrator told Rama Rao's wife to send Ratna to his wife to fetch some buttermilk. So here the narrator told Rama Rao's wife to send Ratna to his house to fetch some buttermilk. Ratna knew the narrator as he was frequent visitor to Rama Rao's place. Ratna came to the narrator's house. When Ratna came, he requested her to sing a song. It was Friday, so she was wearing a sari. Meanwhile, when Ratna was at narrator's house, Shama's house, she was singing a song. It was a Friday and she was wearing a sari. Meanwhile, Ranga came to narrator's house and stopped at threshold. He did not want the singing of Ratna to stop. So he was curious to see the singer. He was enchanted by her and kept glancing at Ratna. After a while, Ranga asked about Ratna to the narrator. The narrator quite cunningly told him that she was married a year ago. Ranga was he was extremely disappointed to hear this, that she married a year ago. The narrator noticed signs of disappointment of Ranga's face. Ranga left after some time. So next morning the narrator met the astrologer. Astrologer is the Shastri, better known as Shastri, and tutored him about his plan in Ranga's case. As the narrator, he made up his mind that very soon he would get Ranga married. So he tutored him. He taught Shastri about his plan in Ranga's case. In the afternoon, the narrator met Ranga, who appeared as disturbed as he was yesterday. The narrator suggested to meet Shastri and inquire about what was worrying him. So now Ranga did not protest and went to meet Shastri with the narrator. So Shastri pretended surprise and spoke about meeting the narrator after a long time. As here, the narrator plan made with Shastri, and Shastri pretended surprise and spoke about the meeting the narrator after a long time. The narrator almost ruined his plan by saying that he had already met Shastri the very morning, but Shastri saved it by changing the sentence. The narrator told Shastri that something was worrying poor Ranga and they had come to seek his help. After making a pretense of some calculations, Shastri said that it was about a girl. To the narrator's question as to who that girl was, Shastri said that she had the name of something found in the ocean. Kamla, Pachi, Moss, Pearl or Ratna, the precious stone. So the narrator's plan was bearing fruit. So narrator and Shastri's plan was bearing fruit. So there was some surprise on Ranga's face and some happiness. On their return, Shyama passed in front of Rama Rao's house. Ratna was standing at the door. The narrator went inside Rama Rao's house and came back a little later. He had a surprised look on his face. He told Ranga that there was some wrong information given to him. Ratna was not married. He also inquired of Ranga whether what Shastri had indicated was true. Shyama asked Ranga that he is thinking about Ratna. Ratna admitted that whatever Shastri said about the girl was Ranga admitted that whatever Shastri said about the girl was true. Now he wanted to get married to Ratna. Finally, what happens in the story? Finally, Ranga and Ratna got married. All the idealism of Ranga was forgotten as he was totally fascinated by Ratna's beauty and sweet voice. They named their first child Shyama. Shyama is the name of the narrator, as because of Shyama's, the narrator efforts, they had got married. Years later, Ranga invited the narrator Shyama for the dinner on the occasion of his 3-year-old son's birthday. The son was also named Shyama in honor of the narrator. Thus, Ranga was leading a happy married life with Ratna. So Ranga marriage, so that was all about the Ranga's marriage. So Ranga's marriage is a beautiful story of a quaint South Indian village. Thus, we can say that the main theme of the story is conflict between tradition and modernity. The conflict occurs when Ranga, against his rationality, falls in love with Ratna, an 11-year-old girl finally gets married to Ranga. So, in the lesson, it's a very interesting lesson. The narrator at the very beginning says that he did not choose any sophisticated words for the title as he wanted the title to portray what actually happened in it, which was the marriage of Ranga, the son of their village accountant. So, India has undergone many socio-economic changes from the way the marriage of Ranga and Ratna was arranged in the story. The 21st century is not the age of arranged marriages, though in villages and traditional families, people still follow the practice of arranged marriages. Educated boys and girls do not need any help to find a suitable match. Female education and employment have given Indian women a sense of empowerment. The attitude of men has also changed about women. However, in the story, Ranga's marriage about the girl was minor, but now there is a law to stop child marriage, which is a serious issue. Presently, people choose their life partners after meeting each other. The parents simply give their approval and grace the occasion. And society has opened up to love marriages. And the parents and grandparents are normally not an abstraction. So according to the story, the narrator is a very simple and kind-hearted elderly person. He seems to have a lot of admiration for his village and even the smallest detail. He is a keen observer and uses a colorful and humorous style of narration. And in the lesson, the narrator considers English to be a priceless commodity, as I mentioned before, but at the same time, he also asserts that learning a foreign language need not affect our tradition and culture. This is evident by the emphasis on Ranga's wearing the sacred thread, doing namaskara and touching the feet of elders. So that was all about the lesson Ranga's marriage. Thank you.